Welcome to another episode of the CHL Top 10 Show. My name is Scott Van Kunen, and this week I talk to a pair of WHL stars that have their sights set on extended playoff runs. From the ninth-ranked Moose Jaw Warriors, Matt Savoie, and from the eighth-ranked Everett Silvertips Ben Hemmerling. Matt Savoie, after spending 3 years with the Ice, starting this year in the AHL and NHL, followed by a dozen games with the Wild, is settling in with a Warriors team that has Memorial Cup aspirations. We find out what it's like joining a team that he helped knock out of the playoffs the last 2 seasons, what he brings to an already stacked Warriors lineup, what it meant to make his NHL debut, and what it's like playing against his former teammate, Connor Geekie. Here's Matt Savoie. My first guest today is from one of the hottest teams in the CHL right now. He's a Buffalo Sabres prospect from the ninth-ranked team in the CHL, the Moose Jaw Warriors. It's Matt Savoie. Matt, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. It feels wrong to say Matt Savoie and Moose Jaw Warriors still. I've been trying to wrap my head around it for a while now, but it just doesn't feel right. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's getting more and more comfortable every day. I think it's been a good time here so far. I'm having a lot of fun, and we've been playing pretty well. So it's been good.
Now, you yourself, you're a little bit banged up right now, missed the last 2 games. When can we expect you back in the lineup?
Oh yeah, just out day to day right now with a little maintenance. So could be back as soon as tomorrow or the next game. So real soon here.
It's good. Obviously, the goal is a deep and long playoff run, so no need to rush things right now, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's really important in a season like this is making sure the body's healthy and ready to go come the most important time of year and in the end of the season.
Well, I talked to one of your former World Junior teammates last week in Fraser Minton, and I asked him about being a bit of a nomad this season because he had, been around much like yourself. You're on team number 5 this year. Obviously, you got to play your game in the NHL, and we'll talk about that later. And had a half dozen games with Rochester. Then you're with Wenatchee, Team Canada, and now in Moose Jaw. What is the biggest challenge for people like for fans? They're watching, they just see you go out and play every night. But for the player, what's the biggest challenge in moving around like that?
Yeah, I think it can be difficult, not getting comfortable in one spot or, getting into the routine of things at the beginning of the season. But, I haven't found it too difficult. I think I've been really fortunate going to really good groups with all the teams I've been playing with and being able to, get the chance to learn a lot from guys I've played with on every single team and all the coaching staff. So I think it's been really, really helpful for my development, getting to play with a lot of different players and just pick up on little things that different guys do at the next level and apply them to here in junior and it's been good. It's been a good season so far, and I'm looking forward to continuing it.
How different are some of the systems and coaches, and when you do try to pick up some things from teammates, how do you incorporate them when, well, say now with Moose Jaw?
Yeah, I think it's just finding things that work for you in your game and things that can help you not only make yourself better but make your teammates better around you. I think that's a big part of having a winning culture is pushing everyone to be the best player they can be and everyone being on the same page. I think the last couple of years in Winnipeg, we've done a good job of that in the Western League, and I think Musha is doing a really good job of that this year, and I'm happy to be here and be a part of it.
Was it easier making the move to Moose Jaw after having to move from Winnipeg to Wenatchee this season and go through those adjustments with billet families and all the like there?
Yeah, I think my billet family here in Moose Jaw has made it really easy to make the transition and just feel at home. I think they've done a really good job just welcoming me and making me feel like I'm a part of the family. So it's been really good, and that's kind of just how it's been everywhere, honestly. In Wenatchee, I had new billets, and they were really good as well. And then was kind of on my own in Rochester and Buffalo, which was a new experience, and it was a good one as well, getting to spend some more time with teammates and get to a little bit more freedom, I guess. So no, they've all been good experiences, had good billets, and pretty seamless transitions everywhere I've gone so far.
How much cooking or how much ordering was going on in Rochester and Buffalo?
Yeah, not a whole lot of cooking, but quite a bit of ordering. I mean, in Buffalo, we had a really good setup at the rink with just meals all the time, and they took care of you pretty well. And even in Rochester, we got breakfast at the rink every morning, and pregame meals most days. So yeah, I think they took care of us pretty well, but definitely did my fair share of ordering dinner.
When you got acquired, like Moose Jaw played paid quite a bit for you, you know, seven picks, including two firsts. How do you avoid putting too much pressure on yourself to perform right away?
I think it was just trying to be myself as soon as I came in here. I think I have a lot of experience in the league and know what kind of the grind of it, what it entails. So just bringing my experience in and being confident in what I can do on the ice and how I can contribute to a winning team. I think that was the biggest thing.
Make it a lot easier with a bunch of guys that you spent World Junior Camp with out there.
Yeah, I think that was another big thing was having three guys and even more. I was at Buffalo camp with Calvert, not this past year, but the year before. So got to know him a little bit there. And then, like you said, those three guys at World Juniors spent pretty much every day with them there and built some, really good relationships with those guys and some really tight friendships. So, yeah, they definitely made the transition really easy to come into this dressing room and just be myself and feel at home.
How has your role changed from Wenatchee, where you were the go-to guy there, even if it was for just under a dozen games, but to coming to Moose Jaw, where you don't have to be the guy every night, especially with, like we said, Furcus and Yager, Calvert, even Matejchuk, the list goes on and on with the depth.
Yeah, I think I've been able to kind of experience that in Winnipeg the last couple of years with how deep of a team we had and how many high end players we had. But I think it's a really positive thing having lots of high end guys that can contribute on different nights and help push the bus in the right direction. I think in particular those guys you listed are all play drivers. All help their line mates be better and I think they have a really big impact on the game. Just what they're doing, how they're preparing. I think it goes a long way in the dressing room and on the ice as well.
So how do you ease yourself into that stack lineup? And how much does it help, like you said, with being on the other side of it in Winnipeg the last couple of years, where you guys are the ones bringing them in, but now you're the hired gun coming in.
Yeah, I think seeing it firsthand in the last couple of years, bringing big pieces into Winnipeg, just seeing how they took it and ran with it, and kind of how they acted in the situation. I think a couple names, Jack Finley, Zach Ostapchuk, guys I got really close with in the last couple of years. I think just being similar to that and being a guy that can, come in and try and help contribute and do everything I can to help the team win, but not trying to come in and rewrite the script and change too much in the dressing room. I think what they had before I got here was working well, and I'm just an addition to help us have some success.
This might be more of a question for Coach O'Leary, but how is there enough ice time for everybody?
Um, yeah, I think it comes down to being disciplined and having the discipline to get off and have other guys have opportunity on the ice. I think that's the good thing about having such a good team and having so many good players and good lines that can contribute is you don't have to lengthen out your shifts. You don't have to be double shifting the whole game. You can maintain some energy and go all out every single shift and not have to reserve energy for the end in case you have to double shift in the last period or whatever. You can be confident in every shift and go just play your game with no restraints.
Does it also make it easier knowing that everybody's rowing in the same direction and you all have Memorial Cup aspirations, and so you don't need to play 20 minutes or 25 minutes a night now because you want to be playing into the end of May?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's so important, having a common goal and having a group like we do that's so motivated to having that success and finding that. And I think it's really fun to be a part of and to work towards with this group for sure.
What was Coach O'Leary's message to you when you arrived? Like, what did he kind of lay out his expectations for you, where you were going to slot in the lineup and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think one of his biggest messages to me was just, be yourself. We brought you in for a reason, and I think it was just mostly excitement for me. I'm really excited to come to a team that has a really good chance to do something special here in the playoffs, and yeah, that's kind of what my message was to him, was just how excited I was, and it's been good so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the journey here.
Well, you didn't waste any time endearing yourself to the Moose Jaw faithful. Getting 2 goals, 3 assists, first star honors in your first game. How good did it feel to have that kind of a performance in your first game at home?
Yeah, that was nice for sure to come in and after a week of not skating and coming to a new team, you definitely want to have a good debut and a big first night, and it was nice to have that. I think my line mates made it really easy on me, looking for me to get the puck and finding me in some pretty good spots, and it was a lot of fun. I think we were really clicking that night on the power play and on 5-on-5. So it was really fun to slot in that night and have a night like that and get the win. So looking forward to for more of that to come.
You were number 26 that night. Were there any thoughts on keeping that after that game?
Yeah, I think a couple guys gave me a bit of a hard time in the dressing room, saying I should just run with that number instead. But no, it was all good. I think I didn't mind wearing 26 at all. I mean, I was pretty comfortable with it after wearing it for a month in Sweden. So no, it was all good.
Was there anybody on the team that kind of surprised you with how they are, either on the ice as a teammate or in the dressing room that you weren't kind of expecting after having played against them for so long?
I think the group they have in the dressing room is so good, and how they all compete on the ice and push each other. I think just as a whole, the group was so that was one of the biggest surprises to me, was going to such a competitive group that all had the common goal to go out and win something and achieve it together, and I thought that was pretty special.
Now, you can be honest here. What was it like the first time walking into that dressing room, knowing that you had knocked those guys out the last 2 years in a row of the playoffs?
I don't think there was too much bad blood. I think it was just mostly excitement on the present and what we're doing this year and where we're trying to go. And I was excited to walk into the dressing room. I think I had a big smile on my face. Lots of guys coming up and introduce themselves, so I felt really welcome right from day one, and I think that was a big part of feeling comfortable as well.
What kinds of things did the rest of the group do with not only you but the other pieces that were brought in with, like, as well as you at the trade deadline, to help make you feel part of the team and get to know each other a little bit better?
Yeah, I don't know if there's, a specific thing. I think, this group just does it so effortlessly. Whether that's just hanging out or going for lunch away from the rink and playing video games, whatever it is, I think this group's always, doing stuff together and being interactive. So I think that's a really positive thing and an easy group to join and be a part of.
And you obviously know firsthand how important it is to be close with the group, having gone to the conference final 2 years ago and then the final last year. Just maybe put it into words how important it is when you want to have those deep, long playoff runs, to be close with the guy that you're going to battle with every night.
Yeah, I think every good successful playoff team has that. They have that camaraderie in the locker room where you're playing for the guy next to you, and it's pretty special once you get down the stretch and into the really meaningful games. I think it's really emotional and intense, and there's a lot of energy and excitement in those games. But it's fun. It's the most exciting time is the playoffs, and we're just building towards that. And I think we're on the right track here.
What can you take away from those two? Obviously, they would have been tough losses for you in the last two playoff runs. What can you take away from those and bring into the Moose Jaw room and help this roster?
I think, like I was touching on earlier, just a little bit of experience, knowing what it takes to have success in the playoffs and, knowing what it takes to, come so close and not get it done. I think the margin of error in the playoffs is so slim, and it comes down to such small bounces. So I think just experience and a little bit of leadership. I think that's what I can bring with having going to pretty deep in the playoffs the last couple of years, and looking to redeem it this year for sure.
I heard recently in an interview, and I can't remember, it was an NHL coach that said it, but he said it's important to deal with some adversity before you're able to win. Do you feel like you've dealt with enough adversity over the last couple of years now to be able to go out and win this year?
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the game. There's adversity within every game. I think it's tough to win. It's tough to be that final team at the end that's standing as the champions. But I think that's what makes it so exciting to compete every single game and go out there and put your best foot forward. I think only special groups have what it takes to win it all, and I'm hoping that can be us this year, and I think we have that special group.
Well, you had a really good group in Winnipeg that obviously moved to Wenatchee. You get to still go out there for a game against them at the early March. How do you anticipate that one going for you? Like just the emotions, because there's still a lot of familiar faces over there.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a bit of a weird game with just how long I played for that organization and the relationships I have with lots of guys on that team, and even when I got traded and I went down to grab all my stuff and drive to Moose Jaw, I had lunch with a few guys, and it's tough switching teams after being with guys for 3 or 4 years. So it'll definitely be a lot different playing against that team, but there'll be no friends on the ice, that's for sure.
And how nice was it? I asked Fraser the same question, but opposite, because he spent his entire career in the Western Conference, and now he's playing in the Eastern Conference. You got to go out and do the opposite. How nice was it? Even if it was for 11 games, but just to play some different guys and different teams that you don't normally get to play against.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool experience. Just getting to play in different arenas, get different teams. I hadn't been to the U.S. before playing there this year, except for obviously in the finals against Seattle last year. So getting to see all those new rinks and play in front of new fan bases, I thought it was really cool. And even the players, I hadn't played against some of those players since Bantam and U18. So it was definitely cool to play against those teams in the U.S. division and the BC Divi.
And for you, obviously earlier this year, you got to make your NHL debut. What was that moment like for you? Not only you, but your family as well.
Yeah, it was special. It was obviously really cool to get out there for my solo lap and get to experience that. And I think the coolest part was having my parents there and getting to spend it with them and see how happy they were and proud of me. And it was just a really exciting night and a really cool one.
And then when you got sent back, the news that you were going to send back, what did Buffalo ask you to focus on this season?
Just continuing my pace of play. They felt that I was in a good spot with how I was developing and how I was coming back from my injury. But obviously there's some things I can work on in my 200-foot game, my all around game, holding on to the puck more. So I think there's lots of details that I can work on in my game, but continuing to play at a high pace and use my speed, I think was one of the biggest things.
And and how surprised or maybe not surprised are you with how well Zach Benson, your former ice teammate, is doing in Buffalo this year? He's kind of a give him an inch and he'll take a mile kind of player.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm super happy for him and the success he's having. I think it's pretty special to come in at 18 and crack the roster, not as, one of the first few picks in the draft. So, I think it's really cool what he's been able to do this year and the experience he's able to get learning from those guys and yeah, it's been really fun to watch him.
How often do you guys keep in touch?
We talk, just check in with each other, every couple of weeks, just see how each other are doing, how each other are playing. I usually watch some of the games and check in with them. And I think, he was watching some of the World Junior games. So, no, it was good. It was good while we were down there too. We were pretty much two of the only guys in the hotel. So we were going for dinner quite a bit, and just right there in the hotel. But no, it was good.
Can you believe that you're 20 already? Like where's your WHL time gone?
Yeah, no kidding. I feel like I've been in the league for a while now, and I've seen quite a bit. So yeah, it definitely didn't feel like too long ago when I was coming in at 15 and wearing a cage, and was still really new to things. So it's been fun. It's gone by quick, but it's been a blast.
How have you changed as a player or even as a person since that 1920 season when you got to play those 20 games in Winnipeg?
Yeah, I think I've matured a ton. Just with the experiences that I've had since then, being drafted, being able to spend some time developing in Buffalo. I think it was such a long time ago that you don't even really remember what it was like. It was before COVID. Can't even really wrap my head around how long ago that was. But yeah, no, it's definitely been a fun ride, and I'm excited for the rest of this year for sure.
Now that you're the wily vet on the team, and like what kinds of things do you say to those young guys that are coming in and just getting their toes wet in the league?
Um, not too much. I think they got a good group of young guys here that really work and really want to get better and show up to the rink with that attitude every day. So, as an older guy, you kind of want to give them a little bit of a hard time, and because that's how it was for you when you were a younger guy. But no, it's all in good fun and good jokes, and I think that's another big part of having a good locker room is being able to joke around with guys and have fun with guys, and older or younger. I think either or. I think being able to joke around and have some fun and have a light locker room is always a good thing, and it's been good here.
Yeah, I always say, it's fine when everybody's joking around with each other. It's when they're not joking around with you that you got to be worried.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, brother's in his second season in Bakersfield. How's his season going? How much do you guys keep going back and forth? I know you talk frequently.
Yeah, we talk pretty much every day, I think, whether it's on the phone or we're just shooting a text across. But no, I think he's been having a good year. As of recently, he was injured at the start of the year, which was tough, but he's been playing a lot better. I've been watching a few of his games, and he's been scoring a little bit, getting some assists. So he's been playing well. It's fun to watch him for sure.
You guys excited to at the opportunity to play against each other sooner than later?
Yeah, I think the only time we've ever played together was Bantam when I would have been 12 and he would have been 14, so about 8 years ago now. So it's been a while since we've hit the ice sheet together competitively. So it'll be fun if once that happens, or if that happens, it'll be pretty cool.
You guys have 16 games left in the season. You're third in the East, so you've got home ice pretty much locked up at this point. Two more games this weekend. You've got Calgary, and then you're going to face your old buddy Geeky in Swift Current. I know you've already played him twice, but how what were those games like? How much jarring is there between you guys out on the ice?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's definitely different playing against him after playing with him for the last 4 years. But no, it's always you always get a laugh playing against a guy like that who's such a character off the ice, and that. So no, it was good playing against him. It was really fun, and I think we both enjoyed it out there.
And as for the Warriors, what are you guys looking to kind of fine tune as you head into this stretch run here?
Yeah, I think we've been playing pretty good lately. I think just those little details in our own zone that give up a couple chances a game. I think we can clean up on. I think that's what we've really been dialing in practice, and I think that's just something that can help take our defensive game to the next level.
Have you picked up your Circus Circus t-shirt yet?
No, I still have to. I sit by him in the room though. He should be giving me one, honestly, but no, I'll have to go pick one up.
How what can you say about the season that he's been having?
He's so gifted offensively. I mean, you can just see in practice when he gets a chance, it's usually in the back of the net, or even when you don't see a passing lane, he's finding it. So he's just so gifted offensively that it's so fun to watch, and he's definitely been producing at that rate as well.
It just seems like you guys are just starting to find your level with all the additions and everything, and you guys are just you're about to peak at the right time, it feels like.
Yeah, I think that's another important thing going into playoffs. You want to be at your best, and I think that's where we want to be.
Awesome, Matt. Thank you very much for this. Good luck at the rest of the season, and hopefully a long playoff run that ends in Saginaw for you guys.
All righty, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
After an injury cut Ben Hemmerling's season short last year, the Vegas prospect has taken a step forward this year as co-captain of the Everett Silvertips, already surpassing last year's numbers in fewer games. We'll find out how to put an ugly loss behind you, how he's continued to grow as a player, what it's like being co-captain with longtime teammate Austin Roost, and how it felt to finally get a chance to play in his hometown in this his fourth WHL season. Here's Ben Hemmerling. My next guest is from the 8th-ranked team in the CHL Top 10 rankings. He's a Vegas Golden Knights prospect from the Everett Silvertips. It's Ben Hemmerling. Ben, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah.
Now, obviously, earlier this week, you guys had I don't know how you want to describe it, a tough, an ugly, either, however you want to chalk it up. It was a bad loss against Portland on Tuesday. We won't even go into what the score was. You guys gave up 3 shorties in that one too. What kind of happened in that game?
It's just kind of one of those games. We haven't had one, I don't think all year. So it was just kind of one of those games where the pucks weren't going our way, couple bad breaks, and I thought we battled pretty hard, not looking at the score, but like shots were pretty even. I thought we did it well, all considered, but yeah, it was just kind of one of those games.
Obviously, you never like to lose to a rival, especially one that you're chasing for top spot in your division with. But are those real stinkers like that? Are they a little bit easier to just kind of write off and not dwell on because they were just a bad outing?
Yeah, I think obviously we don't want to go in there and lose to a team like that in such a big game too. But all you can really do from that now is just learn from it, and have a short memory. And we got another game Friday, Saturday, Sunday here coming up. So yeah, just a short memory, learn from it, but don't dwell on it, and just be ready to go for Friday.
So how do you learn from a game like that and not dwell on it?
I think it's just as soon as you kind of leave that rink, get on the bus and go home, it's a short reflection after the game, and then a little, maybe some video the next day of where we could have been better, and where things really went wrong. And then after that, just kind of put it behind you and then focus on the next one. It's one good thing about the WHL here is 3, 4, 5 games a week, so you're always ready for that next one.
And like you said, you've got a 3-3 this weekend, which concludes with another game against those Winter Hawks. So what do you guys have to do differently in that one to get on the other side of it? Because they kind of had your number this year.
Yeah, I know it's going to be a tough game. I'm not sure what their schedule looks like, but I know for us, with the 3-3, it's not always the easiest thing to do, especially playing a Portland on Sunday. But I think we're just gonna have to play a good, simple game like we know their brand of hockey. And I think if we play to ours, and we got our home crowd behind us there on Sunday, so that's gonna help. But I think if we play to our brand, we should be able to. It'll be a good fight.
Well, you're in what's most likely going to be in your final year in the WHL. So what have you learned, you know, that now that you wish you had have known, and to help you stay ready on these long weeks in the 3-on-3s, so that you've got as much energy at the end of the 3-on-3 and your 4 and 6 or whatever it ends up being, as you do at the start of the week?
At this point, I think I'm just kind of getting used to it. Like we've had quite a few 3-3s this year. We just came off of 5-6 the other week there, so I think your body gets used to it a little bit. But just preparation throughout the week, sleeping right, eating right, stretching, rolling out, all those things help your body recover and make sure it's in the best shape possible for these 3-3s.
As one of the veteran guys on the team now and a co-captain, and we'll get to that in a second. How do you help out the younger guys when especially coming up to this critical stretch of the season when you guys are fighting to keep home ice and maybe even top spot in the West?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's my fourth year here, and being in a leadership role the past couple seasons, I've definitely matured as a player and as a person. I knew when I came in the league at 16 and 17, I had some pretty remarkable leaders that I could learn from and just kind of replicate what they taught me. And yeah, just kind of do my best to help the younger guys with the schedule and the practicing and everything like that, like creating good habits, not only at the rink, but away from the rink as well, like taking care of your body and everything like that, because it is a grind and it's a long season for sure.
What did you learn from guys like Gonsalves and Fonstad and Fairbrother and even to Dustin Wolf?
Hmm.
What did you learn from those guys?
Well, I know for Wolf, he is that guy practiced harder than anyone I've ever played with. He's one of those guys that would get pissed off if you scored him in practice, and then like Fairbrother, he's another one of those guys that he's a pretty competitive guy, and I was fortunate enough to room with him actually in the bubble as well. So just like learning little things like how their game day routines and their practice day routines and how they do like take care of their bodies, what they're eating and things like that. And just like Fonstad and Gonsalves, he was such a skilled, talented player, and like the stuff he worked on after practice, and Gonzo being the outgoing guy he is, just learning like kind of how like being a glue guy, what kind of things he did to keep the room tight. And then yeah, Berezowski last year, he was our captain, and there's another guy that just kind of does it all.
Well, and now it's you and Roost who are the co-captains, and you guys have grown up together essentially in Everett. So how are your leadership styles, relative to each other? Do we have a good cop, bad cop guy sometimes, or one's more rah rah or lead by example? How do you guys do it?
Yeah, I think I mean our coach Willie, I think he said it the best. I think we complement each other really well. Roosty's kind of more I don't want to say yeah, he's a little more serious. Um, Kind of gets straight down to business, and then I kind of like to keep the room a little more light, but also know when to dial it in and be ready. And it is a business, so it's important to have fun, but also know when to dial it in and crack down and get a job done.
Well, you mentioned your Coach GM Dennis Williams. How does he have you guys playing this year? You guys are out in Everett. You're the Pacific time zone, so you guys almost get a little bit forgotten across the rest of the CHL because you guys are the later games and everything. So for the people that don't stay up late to watch you guys, how do you guys play this year?
Yeah, I think Willie, he's done a really good job of since day one he's been here, just creating a brand of hockey for the Everett Silvertips. And I think you can ask anyone in the league, and I think we're one of the hardest teams to play against. That's kind of our motto, is just kind of be relentless and compete. And we're not the biggest team, but I think it's just kind of stick your nose in kind of hockey, like just get right in there and compete hard and yeah.
Obviously, there were some teams in WHL that made some blockbuster deals this year. You guys stayed relatively quiet. What does that say to the room with the confidence that Dennis has in you guys?
Yeah, I think it says a lot to our group. These blockbuster trades, they look pretty good on paper, but at the end of the day, everyone puts their skates on the same way and plays the game the same. So I think keeping a group together and not making any significant moves doesn't just help with the team morale, but keeps guys in the loop and keeps guys confident that their head coach and GM wants them there.
And you guys have a pretty well balanced attack, as evidenced by 6 20-plus goal scorers. How important is, again, as the regular season comes to an end here, how important is it for you guys to be able to roll all 4 lines to keep guys fresh to hopefully have a long playoff run?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I know my 17, 18-year-old year, we were battling injuries and come playoff time. I know myself, I was out last year with an injury, and then my 17-year-old year, we had lots of kind of key players out with injury. So I think it's important you just keep maintaining your body and not peaking at the wrong time. Yeah, so hopefully we got 12 games left here. Hopefully we can catch a little fire here at the end of the year and then carry that into playoffs.
Well, like you said, you got injured last year in early March, so an extra long off season for you. What kinds of things did you do in the off season to help prepare for this year? Because, like you're on a 6-game point streak right now, 30 points in your last 17 games. You've already surpassed all your numbers, offensive numbers from last year. So how did that extra, obviously you never want to miss time with an injury, but how did that help you prepare for this year and take another step forward as a player?
Yeah, there's for with injury, there's not too many positives you can look at it. For me, I just tried to take what I could, just get an early start on my off-season training. So I was still in Everett, but with my injury, I was able to work around it and lift some weights and things like that, so I could get started a little early, get a little month head start on my off season, and I think that's helped me this year for sure. The weight room for me is huge in the summer, being a little bit of an undersized guy. So just getting a head start on that, and yeah.
Do you set goals for yourself in the off season or at the start of the year? Like obviously team goals, make playoffs, win a championship, go to the Memorial Cup. Um, you know, Obviously one personal goal probably would have been to sign your entry level, which you accomplished that. But do you set any other kind of goals up for yourself?
Um, I know. I think it's important to set goals. I signed in the dub for a reason, and that was to make pro hockey one day. So, for me, it was getting drafted. Check that off. Sign an entry level. Check that off, and then play in the American League at 20. So hopefully I can accomplish that one. And for me during the season, it's just kind of about growing my game and maturing my game, getting better every day. And I know for me, like a weight thing is, I like to keep an eye on that and maintaining a weight, especially with this schedule. It's pretty tough to do, but just utilizing like post game lifts and things like that to kind of maintain a weight and set myself up for the best off season I can to, actually put on some good muscle.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really realize how difficult it is for you guys to maintain your way throughout the year with the rigors of the season. What, maybe take us through it a little bit, how much you have to work out or how much you have to eat to try to maintain that level throughout the year.
Yeah, it's not easy, that's for sure. Especially if you're playing 4 games a week. You try and work out as much as you can, but there's a balance between like kind of working out and not wanting to be a bit sore for the game. So yeah, just maybe like a lighter lifts, things like that. Play a game Saturday night, play till Wednesday or the following Friday. That Saturday after the game, you get a pretty heavy lift in. Um, some people think that lifting after the game doesn't make sense, but it's honestly the perfect time to work out is your body's already warm. So just to condense that strain on your body after a game, I think that's huge.
Another huge things for forwards anyway is flexibility, and obviously you have that with the ability to play center and wing. How important is it for you to be able to, shift from the wing to center whenever coach needs you to?
Yeah, I think I like to see myself as a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. I played center my whole career up until the dub, and just kind of with personnel, I was moved to the wing, and I've been thriving there on the wing too. So I like playing both. I think I'm pretty good at both. Yeah.
When you're down at Vegas's camp in the summer and the early fall there, what do you learn from those guys, especially coming off the Stanley Cup win and all that, what to bring back to Everett with you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool how those pros, not only treat the young guys, but just how they carry themselves within the rink. Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch. I know Eichel, he was during training camp there, he was pumping iron like he was still in his off-season training. So, and now he's one of the best players in the league for a reason. So, I think lots of that goes unnoticed. Of like these guys, some people think they just kind of lace up the skates and just go play, but there's a ton of work that goes on behind the scenes that people don't realize that hockey players do to make themselves like optimal for their performance on the ice.
Is that kind of eye-opening for you? Like you obviously you know the work that you put in, but then to go and see what they're doing and see how much more they might be doing.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, he's one of the best players in the league for a reason. I think that, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure I'm a long ways away from kind of getting to maybe that NHL level, but I'm confident in myself and my work ethic and my mentality. So if I keep that mindset going, I like my chances.
And how excited are you, or how much do you welcome, the challenge, uh, looking past this year, but in the future of trying to crack that deep roster and even the farm team's a good team in
Mhm.
Henderson as well. Like, how much do you look forward to getting on the ice with those guys again and competing for roster spots?
Yeah, I know. I like my last couple seasons in Everett. I might have not had to, really compete for a roster spot. So, I'm looking forward to going to camp next year and really, competing against other guys for, try and take some jobs or whatnot. But I think everyone's there for the same reason there at camp is to try and get a roster spot and kind of get on the team and yeah, be a proven player for the team and a contributing member. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and as I'm sure everyone else is.
Yeah, and obviously lots of time left in Everett, and last weekend you guys won a wild one against Spokane, 7-6 in the shootout. You got the shootout winner, and I was kind of curious. You've shot in two shootouts, if I'm not mistaken, this year. You're 1 for 2, but both times you shot third. So is this something that you guys talk about? Do you have a preference in the shootout, like if you're going first, second, third, or beyond? Do you guys what's that strategy like for you guys?
I don't think there's too much behind it. I know I like the pressure, so maybe that plays a factor in it. I like when the game's in my hands, so I like going third, but we got lots of good shooters that can go. So it's just kind of coach calls your name and you go out there and do a job. So I liked that I had the game in my hands there, and I was fortunate to get it done for the group. And our goalie made a couple big saves there in OT and in the shootout. So kudos to him as well.
And we're gonna keep rewinding the clock a little bit. December 1st, you finally get to play. I know you're Sherwood Park, but essentially Edmonton. So you finally get to play in your hometown. What was that game like for you? Second star, goal and assist, even despite the loss.
Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite games in my WHL career. I had that one marked on my calendar from as soon as the schedule came out there, and I was pretty fortunate to have lots of family and friends there. I think there was around 100 people there watching. So, yeah, it was a pretty special game, and for it to be their teddy bear toss game too, lots of fans in the building. But yeah, it was one of my favorite games for sure.
I'm always interested when guys go back and play in their hometown, how their friends and family, how they go about cheering. Are they cheering for the Oil Kings still to win, but for you to have a good game, or have they converted to Tips fans?
They're all Tips fans. Yeah. I know my brother and all his buddies came and they were wearing my jerseys from kind of back in the day, like spring hockey jerseys, brick jerseys. So it was pretty cool seeing them in warm up there on the glass. And I remember when I scored my goal, they were sitting in a suite up top, and I could just hear them going nuts. And gave them a little point there as I went for the flyby, and I think that set them off pretty good.
That's awesome. And we go back a little bit further this season. You got your first WHL hat trick. First, how good did it feel to get the hat trick? And second, what does that say about how hard it is to actually score in the WHL?
Yeah, I know it's pretty crazy. I think I was 4 or 5 games into the year without a goal before that game, and I got that first one, and I felt like a huge weight off my shoulders, and then was able to get a couple more in the net there, and yeah, I think it just says a lot about the league. I mean, on any given night, any team can win. It's just such a competitive league, and you can't take any team for granted. You got to go in there the same mindset as if you're playing the best team compared to the worst. Like any team can win on any given night, and yeah, it just says a lot about the league.
Now, I saw an interview, or I can't remember if I saw it or if I read it, an interview with you, and you said that last year you watched every single NHL playoff game. So I not just Vegas's games. I'm wondering, are you a bit of a hockey nerd? Can you like, is it just like hook it to your veins and you want to, you follow along with everything?
Yeah, I don't know if I caught every playoff game, but I was sure to grab whatever kind of was on there, and if I had some time, I would watch. But I'm a fan of the Oilers. Grew up watching the Oilers, and yeah, man, them in Vegas. Yeah, I like to watch those two teams. But yeah, whenever those teams were kind of on, I was always tuning in, and just got to be a student of the game as well. Like lots of people think that it's just you got to practice on your own stuff, like the physical part of it, but there's also the learning aspect of and mentally of like just watching and seeing what guys are doing out there and kind of learning on from NHL as well. Like they're the best in the world for a reason. So I think being a sponge and as much as you can watch them, I think it'll translate to your game on the ice.
Obviously, a lot of talent on both Vegas and Edmonton to watch, but who are some of the other guys around the NHL or even the WHL, CHL guys that you like to watch and see what they put into their games?
I mean, on Vegas, I like to watch Jonathan Marchessault show. He's been a deadly goal scorer in the NHL for a while now, and he's an undersized forward just like myself. So, just kind of learning from him and seeing what he's doing out there. But yeah, there's lots of guys. Braden Point, I think our games kind of complement each other well. So I like to watch him as well. Um, yeah, and then CHL wise, I don't really watch too much CHL. I more just watch my games and my shifts. But I think there's lots of good players in this league that you can learn a lot from, not only playing against them up close, but watching as well.
Now, Point and Marshall show they've got a bit of an edge to their game. They get a little bit feisty. Do you have that feistiness in your game as well?
I think that's one of the aspects of my game that's actually grown a little bit this year. I like to play with heart. I'm a competitive guy, so when the emotions boil over a little bit, I don't want to say I get stupid, but I'm not gonna shy away from anything, and I like to mix it up a little bit, but not that it's gonna not in a way that's gonna cost my teammates and on our team.
So do you figure that's a bit of a maturity thing now? You're, a little bit older, wiser, and you kind of know the boundaries that you can do and how far you can push things?
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but it's always good to be able to add things to your game and add things to your resume. And, I think my first couple of years, I was more of a kind of soft skill a little bit. But my 18, 19-year-old year, I like to say that I've kind of grown my game into more of a 200-foot kind of dependable, but also being able to still contribute offensively for the group.
I also heard you say that you guys are a really close-knit group this year. So how close are you guys, and how much does that help the team, especially when you guys are in this stretch run and gearing up for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's huge. I mean, everyone's in the same boat. We're all dealing with, the grind of the league and just being able to lean on each other and things like that. We're together a lot. Our schedules from, 9:30 to 3 every day. So we're with each other a lot. And I think that just helps with our, our chemistry and our glue and everything like that on the ice. So I think it's huge to have a tight knit group. And I think we have that.
You guys hang out outside of the rink, obviously, too, then?
Yeah, we do whenever we get some time. We're fortunate. It's pretty nice here all around. Maybe some rainy days, but the golf courses are always open, so we can get out golfing or just go to the mall, or on an off day, just kind of separate yourself from the game. I think is also big.
And like we mentioned earlier, you checked off one of your goals by signing your entry level. What did it mean to not only for you but your family when you got to sign that entry level contract with Vegas?
I know the whole process was pretty stressful. But as soon as I kind of put my stamp there on the contract, it was just a huge relief, and I couldn't thank my family anymore. Like they're my rock, and they've been supporting me for as long as I can remember. And the amount of time and energy and everything like that they've put into me, I give them all the credit in the world. And yeah.
Well, 12 games left in the regular season. Obviously we like we mentioned, you got Wenatchee, Seattle, Portland in the 3-3 this weekend. What do you guys hope to kind of clean up, tune up as you gear up for the playoffs?
Yeah, I think there's always stuff that you can clean up. I think we just got to keep playing to our strengths and to our identity. And yeah, like I said earlier, hopefully we can get a little hot here before playoffs and carry that in. But yeah, we still got some big games ahead of us, and we're not looking past those. Yeah.
Well, good luck in a big rivalry weekend for you. Thank you very much for doing this, and hopefully a long playoff run coming up.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that does it for today. Thanks for listening to another episode of the CHL Top 10 Show. Make sure you like and subscribe as we continue to chat with some of the biggest and brightest names across the Canadian Hockey League. And happy long weekend to all of the Canadian listeners.